Hey guys, welcome to Bastion Time. I am your host Bastion. This is Nintendo News. Let's get to that news. This first story is kind of a correction, but it wasn't really my fault. A correction of a story that I did last week about how somebody used an amiibo in Moscow, I believe it was, to scan for their subway system, and supposedly it just let them get a free ride by scanning the amiibo, which was not intended by Nintendo, of course. Turns out not quite correct. What happened, actually, is it scanned and turned on a green light thing, which usually would indicate that the doors are going to open and that it will let you in. But the doors did not open, and then it quickly turned back to red. So, no free rides in Moscow by using your amiibos, it turns out. Our next story comes from Mr. Aonuma himself, the executive producer of the Zelda series, and he says that the art style for the new Zelda game, for the Wii U, is inspired by anime, which is something that a lot of us have already noticed. A lot of us, when we first saw that trailer back at E3 this past summer, were like, wow, that looks like anime come to life, and it sure does, and that is intentional. He says, yes, it was inspired by both real life and anime. He also went on to talk about the enemy that appeared in that trailer, the fact that the whole point of it was that it was going to be a brand new type of enemy that you've never encountered in a Zelda game before, because it's chasing you, and while it's chasing you, you have to develop a strategy for affecting it in some kind of way. So this was part of his going back to the conventions of what is a Zelda game and challenging those conventions. And in so doing, he came up with this idea for having this kind of enemy that has never really appeared in a Zelda game before. So that's pretty interesting. If you want to read more about that stuff, there's a link for you down below. That's it for this episode of Nintendo News. See you guys tomorrow for more news. Bye, guys!